Imagine you're just chilling, right? You're scrolling through TikTok, completely minding your own business, radiating peak main character energy. The vibes are immaculate. And then, in a fraction of a millisecond, without any warning, you are suddenly violently launched sideways through 3 solid brick walls at over 1,000 miles per hour. I'm not talking about a hyperbole. I'm not talking about a metaphor. I'm talking about getting literally yeeted faster than the speed of sound. And it's not just you. It's your house. It's your dog. It's the entire ocean. It's the atmosphere. Everything not bolted directly to the Earth's bedrock is suddenly moving at Mach 1.3 towards the east. Why? Because the giant space rock we are currently standing on just decided to hit the emergency brakes. If the Earth suddenly stopped spinning, we wouldn't just have a bad day. We would be fundamentally, scientifically, and historically cooked. Today, we are diving deep into the most unhinged apocalypse scenario in physics. It's a journey of supersonic winds, boiling oceans, freezing continents, and a total loss of planetary aura. Stick around, because this is going to be a wild ride. No cap.
Hey, welcome back to MindSpark, the place where curiosity comes alive. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what would happen if things suddenly changed instantly? Stick with me, because the answer is way more shocking than you think.
What's good, Spark Squad? Welcome back to MindSpark, the only channel on the internet that actively tries to give you an existential crisis before breakfast. I'm your host, and today we are looking at a scenario that has absolute zero chill. Look, we all know the Earth spins. It takes about 24 hours to do a full 360, which gives us day, night, and an excuse to sleep through our morning alarms. At the equator, this big blue marble is rotating at roughly 1,000 miles per hour. That's 1,600 kilometers per hour for my metric gang. We don't feel it because we are moving with it. It's like being in a smooth elevator or sitting in an airplane. As long as the speed is constant, you feel nothing. But what if the driver slams on the brakes? What if the Earth loses its rotation? Today, we're going to let physics cook. We are going to break down exactly what happens in the first 10 seconds, the first 10 days, and the first 10 years after the Earth forgets how to spin. Spoiler alert, the survival strategies are going to require a lot more than just touching grass. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about the immediate aftermath. Timestamp: 0.001 seconds after the Earth stops. We have to talk about a little something called inertia. Inertia is basically the universe's way of saying, I refuse to change my vibe. Newton's first law states that an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. Right now, as you sit watching this video, you are traveling east at roughly 1,000 miles per hour. If the solid ground beneath you stops, you don't. Everything not firmly attached to the deepest bedrock of the planet becomes a supersonic projectile. Trees, gone. Buildings, snapped off their foundations like toothpicks. Your favorite coffee shop, it's now part of a terrifying 1,000 miles per hour debris cloud traveling across the continent. It's giving heavy, game over energy. But wait, it gets worse. Because it's not just solid objects. The atmosphere, the very air we breathe, also has mass, and it also has momentum. If the Earth stops, the atmosphere keeps spinning. This creates instant, global, supersonic winds. The strongest wind gust ever recorded in human history was around 253 miles per hour. This would be 4 times that. The friction alone from winds this fast would cause massive fires. The wind would literally be loud enough to deafen you instantly, assuming you weren't already turned into a human frisbee. And then there's the water. Oh boy, the water. The oceans are also carrying that momentum. Imagine carrying a bowl of soup, running at full speed and then stopping dead in your tracks. What happens to the soup? It flies forward, ruining your fit and your day. Now make that bowl of soup the Pacific Ocean. We are talking mega-tsunamis miles high. Water sweeping across entire continents, scouring the land completely clean. Within the first minute, the coastal regions are totally wiped from the map. The map is officially glitched. The sheer kinetic energy released by this sudden stop would trigger massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions simultaneously across the globe. It would be a literal hellscape, negative infinite aura. Okay, so let's pretend you somehow survived the supersonic yeet. Maybe you were in a deep underground bunker, fully stocked on prime and instant noodles, just waiting it out. You step outside a few days later. What does the world look like? It looks completely, unrecognizably different. And it's all because the Earth has a bit of a BBL. No cap, scientifically speaking, the Earth is not a perfect sphere. Because it spins, centrifugal force pushes the mass outward at the equator. This means the Earth bulges in the middle. The oceans are currently piled up at the equator, held there by the momentum of the spin. It's an equatorial water belt. But if the spinning stops, that centrifugal force drops to zero. The oceans are no longer being pushed out toward the equator. So, what happens? Gravity takes over. And gravity says, hey, water, you need to flow downhill. Because of the Earth's shape, the poles are closer to the center of gravity. So, the water from the equator would rush toward the north and south poles. This completely reshapes the geography of our planet. The oceans as we know them? Gone. They are replaced by two massive polar oceans. The Northern Ocean would swallow up most of Canada, Europe, and Russia. London, New York, Tokyo, underwater, literally sleeping with the fishes. Meanwhile, at the equator, a massive new supercontinent emerges. Pangea 2.0 just dropped, and the patch notes are insane. The water drains away, exposing the ocean floor, linking South America, Africa, and Southeast Asia into one continuous strip of dry land. But don't pack your bags for this new real estate just yet. Because this new equatorial megacontinent would essentially be a massive, high-altitude plateau. Since the physical crust of the Earth still has that bulge, standing on the equator would be like standing at the top of the Himalayas. The air would be incredibly thin. You'd step out of your bunker on the new supercontinent and immediately pass out from lack of oxygen. Totally unviable. So, you're in a bunker, the world's map has been redrawn by gravity, and you're just trying to figure out what time it is. Well, throw away your Rolex, because time, at least how we experience it, is fundamentally broken. Right now, Earth's spin gives us a 24-hour day. But if the Earth stops spinning on its axis, the only way we get a day and night is by orbiting the sun. And how long does that take? 1 full year. This means one day now lasts 365 regular days. You get 6 months of blistering, relentless, inescapable daytime, followed by 6 months of freezing, absolute pitch-black night. The vibes? Absolutely atrocious. Let's look at the day side first. For 6 straight months, the sun just parks itself in the sky and blasts the surface with heat. With no night cycle to cool things down, the temperatures would skyrocket. We are talking well over boiling point in the central regions. The soil bakes, rivers dry up, and any plant life that survived the initial 1,000 miles per hour windy is now being deep-fried. It is quite literally a planetary oven. You step outside and you are instantly cooked. Medium rare in seconds, well done in minutes. Then there's the dark side. For 6 months, this half of the planet sees absolutely zero sunlight. The temperature drops so fast and so low that the oceans might start freezing over. It would make Antarctica look like a tropical resort. We're talking temperatures approaching -100 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. The extreme temperature difference between the baked side and the frozen side would cause massive, violent weather patterns. The hot air from the day side would rush over to the cold side, creating perpetual, continent-sized megastorms. Imagine a hurricane the size of North America that literally never stops spinning. It's an endless loop of extreme weather. If you're an NPC in this world, your survival rate is exactly 0%. Now, if you're a science nerd, you might be thinking, hey, maybe we could just live underground, use geothermal energy, build 6 subterranean cities like in the movies. Let him cook, right? Well, no, because stopping the Earth's spin ruins something far more important than the weather. It destroys the Earth's invisible shield, our planetary aura. Deep inside the Earth, thousands of miles down, we have a liquid outer core made of molten iron and nickel. Because the Earth is spinning, this liquid metal swirls around, creating a massive electric current. This is called the dynamo effect, and this dynamo effect generates the Earth's magnetic field. This magnetic field is literally the MVP of planet Earth. It's a massive force field that deflects deadly solar winds and cosmic radiation from the sun. Without it, the solar radiation would strip away our ozone layer, and eventually, it would blow our entire atmosphere right into deep space. If the Earth stops spinning, the liquid core eventually stops swirling. The dynamo effect dies, the magnetic field fades away, and without that magnetic field, Earth loses its aura completely. The sun's radiation would rain down on the surface, mutating DNA and making the surface completely radioactive. Over millions of years, the solar wind would literally blow the oxygen and nitrogen right off the planet. Earth would essentially become Mars 2.0, a dead, barren rock floating in the void. So, yeah, even if you survived the yeet, the mega-tsunamis, the 6-month sunburn, and the freezing dark the sun's radiation would eventually finish the job. A total, inescapable squad wipe. So, is there any hope? Are we just completely, 100% finished? Well, in the spirit of human resilience and sheer stubbornness, let's theory craft a survival strat. If humanity knew this was coming, or if the Earth slowed down gradually instead of a sudden slam on the brakes, we might have one tiny, fragile safe zone. It's called the Terminator line. No, not Arnold Schwarzenegger. In astronomy, the Terminator is the line that divides the day side of a planet from the night side. It's the zone of perpetual twilight. In this narrow strip, maybe a few hundred miles wide, the temperature might actually be survivable. It wouldn't be baking hot, and it wouldn't be freezing cold. It would basically look and feel like a permanent, moody sunset. The ultimate golden hour, but forever. But here's the catch. The Terminator line isn't stationary. Because the Earth is still orbiting the sun over the course of a year, the line of twilight slowly crawls across the surface of the planet. To stay in the safe zone, humanity couldn't just build a city and chill. We would have to become entirely nomadic. Imagine massive, crawling megacities on tank treads, constantly moving to outrun the freezing darkness chasing them from behind and avoiding the scorching sunrise ahead of them. You'd literally have to chase the sunset for your entire life just to survive. That is some absolute W-Riz survival tactics right there. We would have to genetically engineer our crops to grow in constant twilight. We'd have to harness geothermal energy from the massive tectonic fractures caused by the stopping of the spin. The remaining humans wouldn't be countries or nations. We'd be one massive caravan of survivors, migrating around the ruins of our old world. It's a completely unhinged sci-fi movie, but mathematically, it's the only play we'd have. All right, let's all take a deep breath. The good news, this is physically impossible. The Earth has an incomprehensible amount of angular momentum, and there is no braking mechanism in space to slow us down. Short of a collision with another massive planet, which would obliterate us anyway, the Earth is going to keep spinning for billions of years. We are safe. You can go outside, touch grass, and enjoy the fact that you aren't currently flying eastward at 1,000 miles an hour. But man, it is wild to think about how much we take for granted. The spin of this rock gives us our climate, our gravity distribution, our magnetic shield, and our concept of time. Now I want to hear from you. What was the most mind-blowing part of this scenario for you? Was it the supersonic yeet, the 6-month sunburn, or the idea of living in a giant tank city chasing the sunset? Drop a comment down below right now. Let's get a debate going in the comment section. What's your ultimate survival strat? If this video gave you a massive brain blast, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It tells the algorithm that we are cooking up absolute fire over here at MindSpark. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the weirdest, wildest corners of science and space. Until next time, keep questioning everything, keep your aura high, and remember, as long as the world keeps spinning, you've got time to do something great. Stay curious, Spark Squad. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
If this video made you think even for a second, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe to MindSpark for more mind-blowing ideas, and tell me in the comments what topic we should explore next. Until next time, keep your mind curious,